What's up, gang? It's your girl, Sherelle Renae.
And it's your girl, Ashley. And this is the Bear With Me podcast.
A podcast for constant evolution, where we do the soul work, soul search, and soul therapy. Yes, y'all. And again, y'all know it's season 2. I'm going to keep saying it every episode. It's season 2. And we are back.
Yes, so make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, share,
yes.
all of that.
Hit that
ring
notification bell.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So that y'all know when we live.
On today, we have my girl, Ariel.
Hi.
She is here with us. I had to yank her out of her busy life to get her here, y'all, by the
By the grace
hair of my chinny chin chin. So I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you for coming.
I love you. No problem.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So before we jump into everything, introductions. Obviously, Ariel, what is it that you do for the people who don't know besides bomb ass mom?
My name is Ariel. I have an Instagram page that is _ArielB, where I talk about womanhood in a whole, meaning that it's just not the good. Mm-hmm. It's maybe the harder parts or the ugly parts that a lot of us maybe over the years have become shameful for and don't talk about, or have been taught to not talk about. I believe the only way to be whole, whether that's a woman or a mom or whatever role you play in life, is to tell the whole truth. So I expose myself in the world that I live in and what I go through, and it actually has caught a lot of people's attention.
Okay, it works for her.
It grew a lot bigger than I thought it was. I really started it as kind of like an outlet for myself. I didn't start social media to be anybody on social media. It was just going to be maybe a photo diary or maybe how I felt that day. Mm-hmm. It just, a lot of people began to resonate from it, and I'm here.
And taking off ever since. Now, before we even get into all of that, that was just a snippet, okay?
Right.
Now, that was just a little piece to what's to come. But real quick, first of all, how are you doing? How are you feeling today? You know, we had to make sure we had some wine for you, girl, because
I appreciate it.
You know, as women, we love us a nice little glass of wine, honey. And y'all do know that we like to play an icebreaker game.
Yes, we do.
So, what's crazy is
yes, we do an icebreaker. We just gotta, it'll be something fun.
Okay.
So this one is called You Laugh, You're Out. Basically, we pick a joker. It could be any of us to start.
Okay.
Let's see. The funniest person draws a card first, which, Sherelle, you're the funniest person.
I am.
They are the joker. The joker silently reads the card to themselves. So you pick a card. You're going to read it to yourself. And you then have, 30 seconds, which is where this comes into play. This little thing right here.
Okay.
You have 30 seconds to do whatever's on the card, doing your best to make the others in the group laugh. And the joker may interact with any other players, and you are allowed to laugh. So I guess you have to act out whatever is on your card, and we have to try not to laugh.
Okay.
So if any of the other players laugh, they must put one of their laugh tokens in the center of the play area. And then at the end of the round, the joker takes all the laugh tokens from the center, and the person to the joker's left now becomes the new joker.
So how about we all be a joker? We do one round.
Yeah.
Everybody be a joker.
That's fine.
And see who laughs.
Well, we can do that. So let me pass these little things out.
Okay, everybody get a little token, a little coin.
You can just do it real quick.
A little coin.
So you gonna start?
I'll start.
Okay. So here's your cards. I don't think you can look.
Oh, I can't look?
No, I think you just pick one.
Oh, okay. So, but I'm not supposed to read it. I got that.
Yeah, so you got 30 seconds. I'm laughing already.
So, okay, you guys. I know you guys are a little young, but it's okay. I'm here. You guys know I'm here for you. I love you guys. And I just want to make sure that you guys are prepared. I know you're teenagers right now, so I just want to make sure you guys are prepared. So about this subject, I don't know if y'all are doing this. I hope y'all not, because I'm gonna be very hurt. I'm gonna be disappointed. I mean, are you? I can't say it, but do you have boyfriends? Either one of y'all? Are y'all doing anything that you ain't supposed to be doing? Like, I don't know how else to say this. It's like, are y'all hunching? Cause are you having sex? Anybody? You look sexually active. You're thick. Your thighs, your hips spreading. What is going on? Your breasts getting bigger. Y'all just, what y'all?
She laughed first.
It was the breast getting bigger
Right.
for me. And I'm like,
I
I have none.
Girl, I didn't know that she started. I was like, wait, what's going
Because
on?
I'm supposed to be a parent talking to my kids about the birds and bees.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay. Woo. Girl, you took me
I had to start snipping. I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me get black. Let me do it.
Okay, my turn or your turn?
Yeah, your turn.
Okay.
Ready?
I can't stand up though, right?
Yeah, you can
if you want to.
I don't even know how I would do this. Okay. How is this supposed to, can I pick a different one?
Yeah, you can.
That's not funny. Wow, this is long. Okay.
She said, wow, this is long. Are we supposed to guess? Like, call it out, right?
I did think you're just supposed to not laugh.
Oh, see? Don't even listen to the intro.
Okay. This one's still weird, but it's a little easier. Okay, I'm ready. I can laugh though, right? It's so awkward.
Look right at the camera.
Okay. Beep, 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 beep.
I'm sorry. What?
That's what it says. It says you are an alien, gently holding someone's earlobe, staring deeply into their eyes, saying beep.
Oh my God.
Girl,
She barely got an eye. And
I barely could do it. But
I
the
was
last
like,
one was worse.
why
The
are you
last
rubbing
one
her
was
ear?
like, get up and do a full choreographed lightsaber routine.
Oh no.
Like,
I
started
would've
with
went up there.
lightsaber. I don't
Like
know.
lightsaber.
Oh,
yeah. I
You have
definitely
2
wouldn't.
boys.
I
I
wouldn't
don't
know.
watch Star Wars.
I don't
Me
either,
either.
but I know who they are or what a lightsaber is.
I definitely did. I wouldn't have known. I thought she said lifesaver, like the candy. I was so confused.
I almost came on my nose.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Clam juice? Clam juice, anyone? You want clam juice? Would you like clam juice? Juice with your clam. Clam? No clam juice? No? Okay, I don't like this one. I'm like, when I first read it, I'm like,
Oh, she's skipping through them.
There's some off ones in
Yes.
it. Yours was good at first.
Wow.
okay.
You know what?
Sherelle, because these is asking me to get up and
If
do some
she
crazy
is,
stuff.
you know what? It's okay. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. You know what?
Okay,
About 5
okay,
more.
all right, I got this one. All right.
So you went through that.
All right, straight face.
Stella Rose. Rosé. Girl, take me out my misery.
What
Okay, y'all.
was it?
It said take a deep whiff of different people's body parts and then describe each like it's a fine wine.
Oh.
I'm like,
I guess the real question is, whose house did this game come out of?
right.
Well,
I do not know.
it was.
Her house.
I'm
yes.
gonna claim it.
I thought you meant like
I
who
don't really
made it.
know. It was a game that I had, y'all,
Mhm.
and look, it was there. I didn't even know. This is my first time even opening it. I don't even know nothing about it. Sure didn't.
All
But
right,
you know,
y'all.
that's all right.
That's what we do.
Y'all, we just be doing
Embarrass ourselves.
But this is us, y'all. You know, we like to be ourselves. So it's just something that we like to do. But y'all already know. You know, we got to add a little to it. But yeah, I'm sorry.
So we're going to just get into it. We're going to get right into it. We've made our intros. Okay. So Ariel, obviously you are someone that I look up to. You are a force.
I love you dearly.
So my question, because I'm always, although I watch you on social media, although I see like a snippet, right? Because we can only capture a snippet of like your day to day.
Right.
How do you set time aside for yourself? Being a mom, working, content creator, having 8 arms. What does time for yourself look like? How
Honestly, I don't. Okay. And that's probably the hardest thing to say. I'd love to sit here and lie and say I go to the movies once a week, or I get my nails done, or I have nice sneakers, or I go do things for myself, but I really don't. By the time I have gone to work and pleased my employer, come home and please my kids, and I come home and I barely get a 3-minute shower, the alarm's going off and it's the next day.
Right. So there's no like self-time. Does that make you ever, resentful of the kids?
Probably more so resentful towards their dads.
Okay.
Than my kids.
I can see that.
Because sometimes I just feel like I chose to give them life, so it's not their job to give life back to me.
Okay.
It's not their job to breathe life into me. It's my job to raise them, to feed them, to get them where they need to go. I don't feel like your kids owe you anything. Like when I get old, God forbid, something happens, it's not their job to stop their life in their prime to care for me. Is it nice? Is it, socially appropriate?
Right.
But they don't owe me anything because I chose to give birth to them.
Right.
So, but I do feel like their fathers owe me a hand in raising them.
Absolutely.
So it does build resentment, but it doesn't build it towards my kids.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. And so for the people that don't know you, because I obviously don't know much about you. So to the people who don't know you, can you give us some insight on who you are? Who is Ariel? Where you come from? Give us a little quick backstory on you and who you are, so that the people who don't know, like myself, can kind of have some insight.
I feel I'm very humble, so the best way for me to answer that is I am just like you guys. I don't think I'm anyone more special than the next or better than the next. I just, when I was at my deepest, instead of getting high all the time or getting drunk all the time, I began to tell my story. I've always loved to read. I've always loved to write. So I just told my story in a narrative way. And if I can put music to it or backlay it, I would. But it was really just a way to express myself. So who am I? I'm Ariel. I went to FAMU. I have a criminal justice degree. I was a teen mom. And I think that's where all the burying started to happening. When I say bury, I mean things that I was ashamed of. So yeah, I gave birth, but I just quickly tried to just move on with my life. Let's just not talk about it anymore, get a different relationship, just move on, get new friends and kind of just close it out. But then I started noticing that the pattern continued. So yeah, I'm just someone who, instead of getting buried by a lot in my life, I chose, I guess, to keep going. Because I can't say that I'm 100% healed, but I can't say that I'm just living through it and trying to find the brightest side of it that I can in the moment. So I guess I'm a regular girl. I'm a medical biller and coder by day. I do a lot of coding at home. I raise 5 children between the ages of 3 and 15, 100% on my own. And yeah.
And, I like to ask questions like that, so that people do know, because what I think we as people have to understand is that everybody does have a story.
Yeah.
Everybody comes from something. Everybody comes from, a place, rather it's good or bad, it doesn't matter, but we all come from something and somewhere. And, we've grown from whatever we've been through and stuff like that. And so I like for us to give like that insight so that people can know, like, look, this is who I am, but let me tell you, this is who I am now, but let me tell you where I've come from to show you like where this is what has become of me now.
Absolutely.
And that way that we kind of know, because I think that's important when you're getting to know people. And I just think it's important anyway for people to know that.
Yeah.
And of course we're going to get on into all your business, honey. We're going to get there. We're going to get there, but
I 100% agree.
Just definitely wanted to ask that for sure. Okay. So I guess my next question is, I know that Ashley said that you're a content creator. I did my little research and I see that you
I like her. Follow her.
A creator. So what inspired you to start creating when it comes to content? What was that inspiration process looking like?
I guess it wasn't looking like anything. I just didn't see inclusiveness for people whose lives was like mine.
Right.
If anyone had kids or the amount of kids that I have, they're married.
Yeah.
They have a spouse. They have a nice yard and a big house. And Instagram to me was toxic. It was very...
Still is.
Picture perfect. It was sterile. It didn't have any character to it, to me. I felt like everyone was very much so okay showing themselves at the finish line, but not during the race.
Yeah. Okay.
How did you get there? Why are you there? What struggles did you go through? And I think when I started my page, it was like everyone else's. I, would over edit and I would clean a room drastically just before I took a picture, just so that it looked like everyone else's. And I was exhausted and that room was back dirty. Or I only cleaned half the room, enough to get it in the shot. But I was like, you know what? I just stopped. I was like, I'm just going to be me. I was tired of putting on a filter, and it wasn't getting me anywhere.
Yeah.
I was very sterile, and I probably was at like 500 people, and half of them I was related to.
Right.
But then when I just started telling the truth and letting my kids tell the truth, and it was unfiltered, that's when my page got traction. It wasn't when I was pretending to be like everyone else. When I honestly pulled off the mask and was just me, that's what worked.
And I love that. Like, that's one of the things that I love about you and your page, just because literally if there's clothes on the couch, Ariel's still recording like, yeah, we didn't fold those. They've been there for 3 days. They're going to stay there. But anyways, you know what I mean? Like,
we're going to wear those this week.
We'll wear them. Yeah. Look, I'm not folding clothes. I'm just going to throw those in there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense to fold them. It's like, listen. And here goes me trying to find like the perfect angle in my house. But that stops me from creating content all the time, because I'm like, oh, the house is a mess. I'm not even doing that.
Cheaper to be yourself. I think we all kind of just have a habit of thinking too much into like stuff like that when we can just be open. But I do think it is important to be mindful of what we, put out. However, I don't see anything wrong with, hey, if you got a couple of clothes on the floor, it is what it is. People act like they ain't never seen laundry on the floor before. Like, okay, like, it's fine. Yeah. But, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think being yourself and being real is what will always attract people.
For sure.
Like, always.
So, like, I know you said, obviously, that, I don't think anybody is just healed. Like, I don't think that there's a person alive that's just 100% healed. But with the fact that, number one, like, you don't devote time to yourself, right? You're always constantly on go. You have the kids, boom, 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 boom. Do you think that constant, like, day by day motion, like never stopping, like, do you feel like a part of you is afraid to spend too much time by yourself, to yourself? Like, what would happen if you slowed down? You know what I mean? Like, because a lot of times people who move a lot, aside from obviously we have kids and we have stuff backed up to do on a day-to-day basis, but people who are constantly busy, it can be seen as like, like running from something. You know what I mean? Yeah, because it's like if everything slows down, it's like now I have to really deal with what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like you're in that space sometimes?
I know I'm scared to burn out.
Mm-hmm.
I get fearful of, but sometimes, I guess what I'm saying is, I come from the mindset of, if I don't do it, who's going to?
Right.
And then I always heard a lot as a kid, if you want something done right, do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So after you've leaned on someone or been a partner with someone or married someone and things just didn't work out, they check out, they exit.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you sit there in your pity until you just pick up and keep going?
Right.
And I think I did go through a phase where I did treat myself more. I
Mm-hmm.
went out more, but it wasn't, I felt like it was from a very toxic place. I felt like when I went out, I was trashed when I came back in.
Right.
Or when I went out, I would be me and not really I guess I would be a version of myself that I thought the crowd in that room wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd go home and I was still miserable.
Right.
So once I pulled back, and I do go to therapy, and I kind of just, I don't know, I guess I'm sitting with my pain. I'm the kind of person, if I'm not all the way healed, or maybe I don't feel like I am my best self, I don't occupy the room with other people.
Right.
And I don't know if that's
like
a
that
good
as
thing
well.
or a bad thing, but I don't. I just don't. If I don't feel like I am 100% my best, I will stay home. And it doesn't mean that I don't like you.
Right.
Or I didn't want to be there.
Right.
I probably will be very sad once you post the photos online.
Right.
But in that moment, I didn't want to go.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I get that. Like, you don't want to be like misery loves company. Like, no, if I'm in a space where I'm
Or
like,
I'm the only
not
sad one in the room, and everyone's genuinely happy, and I'm like, wow, life fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like, what are you laughing at?
What are we
This
laughing
is
at?
bad. Is it just me?
No, I feel that 100%. I'm like that too, and people have to get to a place where they don't take that personally. But that's why it's important that they know who you are, because I'm like that as well. When I'm going through something, I don't like to be around people.
Yeah.
I don't talk on the phone. I don't, and it's good and bad, because I will like isolate.
Yeah.
Completely. My mom too, like, she'll be calling my friends like, hello, have you heard from Ashley? Because I will DND the whole entire world.
Yeah.
Besides the school. Because I need to be able to get contacted by the school. But other than that, I'll like cut everything off.
Yeah.
So I get that. 100%.
Yeah. I don't know what'll happen though. And I don't know what me not giving time to myself, I don't know what the long-term effect will be, but
yeah, it's important. And I told you that before.
I know.
It's so
But it's
important.
also foreign to me.
Me too.
So I feel very uncomfortable going and spending $100 on myself when I know my son needs shoes next month.
Right.
Or, I could have spent this money getting my daughter's hair done. Or, back to school shopping is in 2 months. Mm-hmm. You spend all this money on yourself for what? You go nowhere. Yeah. You have no friends. You have no social life. Why do I need it?
It's that mom guilt.
It's
heavy.
But it's like, what do you feel like as women? Because obviously I feel like all moms at some point have felt some sense of mom guilt. So like, what do you think that stems from, in your opinion? What do you think mom guilt actually stems from? Is it really mom guilt?
Overcompensating for the absence that they don't have.
We didn't give them something that either we had or something that we think they should have. So we overcompensate. And that overcompensation comes in many ways. Like, I can yell at my kids all year, 365, but I know on Christmas morning, everything they put on that list is going to be under that tree. Mm-hmm. I don't care if I have to pick up extra shifts. I don't care if I have to sell something of mine. I don't care what I have to do. What they ask for on that list is going to be under that tree.
Right.
Because they don't have a dad every day. Because I probably won't be able to fully 100% sustain their college tuition without them picking up debt.
Right.
I know when they all become 18 within the next 10 years, I cannot pay for 5 rents and mine.
Right.
If they don't have their lights on.
Right.
Okay. So in essence, for people who don't know how, okay, so you're a single mother. Mm-hmm. You have 5 children, is what I'm hearing, correct? Okay, and that's just so that people, in case nobody didn't catch that.
Right.
So with that being said, like, how is that for you?
Isolating.
Why do you feel that way? Like, why do you feel that it's isolating? Well, what about it is isolating? Because there may be some other single mothers out there that feel the same way. So what about that is isolating for you?
I never came from it. Everyone that I was raised with is married. No one is divorced. Everyone has 3 kids maximum, a dog, a fully paid off car, a house, a career. I am the only one. I'm the only one every Thanksgiving, every Christmas, every family gathering on the side of the family that I get with regularly. So yeah, I think it's isolating to the fact that as soon as I became a mother, it was laced with shame. You knew better. You could have done better. I raised you better. I taught you better. Then it's like, I think parents, once you lose control, once that 18 through 25 I've heard is terrible, because you have to let go of control. And the only way to, I guess, keep control is to lace it with morals and values. And I raised you better than this. And it's always been shameful. So I think for me, it's always been, I'm going to prove you wrong. And even though I'm struggling and I'm crying every day, I'm not going to show you that side of me. I'm going to go home and I'm going to cry.
Right.
But I'm in your face for those 8 hours, that 10 hours, that Christmas dinner. We're going to have it all together. So I guess it's isolating to that fact. I know that all of their fathers got a cheat code out. Every meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, every sock, every underwear, every toothbrush, every flipped load, every baked meal, every soccer practice, game, cleat, parent-teacher meeting, backpack is done by me every single day. And I think it's hard that my kids depend 100% on me. Right. It's to the point that all of my kids now are of the age to have a phone besides my youngest. And if they need something, they only text me. If they want to be picked up from school, they only text me. Right. The other parent doesn't even get the text because in that child's mind, you are no longer dependable. It's not that I don't love you. I didn't think of you. You haven't shown me that you're there. So even though now they're getting older, 2 of them are trying to come back in the picture, but these are for kids that'll be 16 and 14 this year. Kids that have spent all of their life with one person. So it's just a lot of weight, and I don't feel like a lot of people can relate. Right. I have friends that are single moms, but no shame, but I can raise 3 kids with my eyes closed. Right. Yeah. 5 is like overwhelming.
Shoot. Yeah.
I know it's my sister just had a baby. She's 1, and she's like, "Oh my God, what do I do?" And I'm like, "Are you high? Right. Take these 5. I'll take that 1, and we're gonna see how this gonna shake out."
Girl, because mine too, I'd be like,
It's a lot though. It's a lot whatever phase you're in, but.
So how do you? Why I don't know why or how. How do you think that you got to this place of being a single mom of 5? And when I say that, basically,
judgment.
Yeah, I was going to say, because obviously you were in a relationship with them at some point. Yeah. And they had some type of characteristic that screamed like dad eligible. You know, like at some point. Or not necessarily. Maybe not dad eligible, but maybe, just something kept you in the relationship, something obviously kept your kids, which has a lot to do with you and not to do with them. But how do you think you got to this place of just 100% on your own? Like out of, there's 3 of them, 2 of them? 3, okay.
I don't think I fully healed when I moved on. Okay. And I don't know if that makes sense. It's like, okay, this isn't working. We break up. He instantly has someone else, and now I'm going to go find me someone else. So I think it was always like I don't think like a tick for tack, but it was a very much so a codependency. Okay. I struggled being by myself. So maybe that does reflect back to what you say when that I don't spend time by myself. Right. Maybe this is all therapy in the moment right now. Right.
That's why I asked that.
I struggled for a long time being by myself. I feel like by the time I even actually became a woman, like a cycle, I've always had somebody. So yeah, I would just, this relationship didn't work, so then I try this one. Right. And this relationship worked for a long time, it was fine, and then it exploded and it's done, and then I'd find someone else. I don't think I ever sat with myself to heal.
Right.
But then again, growing up, at least in my house, in my Black house, no one talked about therapy. No one talked about what to do when your heart gets broken. No one talked about... I never really heard the word love language or love yourself until I was an adult.
Right.
No one ever said that to me as a child. No one ever said spend time by yourself. That was weird.
Yeah.
Who was the kid in the corner playing with marbles? You had no friends.
Right.
You were supposed to socialize and have a lot of friends and go out, but no one taught you like red flags or how to... So I think social media is toxic to some extent, but a lot of it is the fucking truth. It's funny depending on who says it, but it is laced with a lot of honesty.
Right.
And I don't think I ever properly knew how to love just me. So now that I feel like I'm trying to figure that out, I'm kind of to the point that I'm scared to let someone else back in my bubble.
Right.
Because my life is not perfect right now, but I can control what's going on. I don't have to ask someone else how your day was and then let you and your mom's drama bleed into my house. It's caring for someone else to get in a relationship or open up your home. You have to open up your time too.
Right.
And that I don't have a lot of.
Right.
Yeah. And one of my kids still sleeps in my bed. Like, it's like...
Yeah. And that was
so I think it comes from codependency. I don't... It's probably really sad to even say, and I'm probably going to regret this when I watch this back.
Listen, this is about being honest.
When my kids grow old, I don't know who I'll be.
Yeah.
And the sad part is I had them so young that I won't be elderly when they're gone. I'll be 45.
Yeah.
And my oldest will be in his mid-20s.
Yeah.
But everyone else is that. I don't know. Ever since I've ever been able to get an apartment or rent a car, I've had a child with me. So I don't know what that looks like to be by myself.
I told her the same thing. Like, I've had a kid since my first year in college, 18. Yeah. So I literally only did a semester at an HBCU when I was pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, as far as like social life and all that. And I said that, like, aside from being a mom, it's like, okay, so what else is there? Like, I go to work, I'm a claims adjuster, okay, and then what else? You know what I mean? Like, I take care of my kids, I go to practice, I go to games, you know? Yeah. Might add a little razzle-dazzle, might go to lunch one Saturday, ooh, okay. And then aside from that, it's like, all right.
Do you have a social life?
One thing about it, girl. No, seriously though. So I am the type of person, like I've had my kids in my 30s. I'm only 34. So my kids are fairly young. Like I told her, I did a lot of what I wanted to do. I think for me, I think it's always going to be important for me to have a social life, no matter what. I make that a priority for myself because I'm not only a mother. Yeah. So I have to, a lot of times, remember and force myself in that space of, okay, well, sure, you're still a young woman at the end of the day. I'm only one person. Yeah. So I'm a mother, yes, a mother first. However, I'm also a woman first. I have to prioritize myself. If mama's not okay, nobody's okay. And that's what I want to say to, like, the women, the single mothers that's out there that's listening and watching as well. It's like, we, single, not single, whatever. If you're a parent, if you have kids, you have to make time for yourself. It's very important. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you have to force it at some point. We can't, because I feel like as mothers, we always like to make the excuse of, okay, well, I got the kids. And it's like, no, I'm also still a person.
You're going to fuck them kids.
I'm a woman. Like, it's like, no. Sometimes we don't want to be a mama. Sometimes you don't, and you have to get to that place to where the mom guilt, all that is normal. Yay, great. We ain't the only ones that had it. However, it's very important and it's healthy to make sure that we get that time for ourselves, because again, if mama's not okay, the kid's not okay, everything up under you is gonna fall apart. Literally, our kids feel our emotions, they feel us, they know, they're not dumb, they sense it, they know it. Because if you notice, if mama's down, or if mama's irritated, or if something's going on, the kids, they out of control. It's like, what? So we have to be very careful, and I just think it's important for us as young women, young Black women. Mental health is real. I think it's very important for us to find time. You have to find time, even if it's in a corner with a goldfish and a puppy. Find time for yourself. It's important. You have to. So yes, mama
With
makes
a
time
what,
for
Sherelle?
mama with a goldfish and a puppy. Mama makes time for herself. If I got to close the door, if I got to get in the car, leave for a second, whatever I do, I'm going to get me some me time.
Yeah.
I have to.
I've been doing that though.
I have to.
They be sleeping and I'll get in my car and just take a little drive.
Yeah.
Blast
You
my
have
music and just do that. And I find myself like just sitting in the car when they're in the house. Yeah. I'll sit in my car for like
and don't feel bad about it.
Hours.
That's the thing. I don't feel bad no more. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I do not feel bad anymore. I don't. I don't, because I have to prioritize myself as well. I'm still a human being. I'm not just a mom. I'm not a robot. I'm not only a mom. I'm not only a girlfriend. I'm not only a sister. I'm not only a daughter. Mm-hmm. I'm a person. I'm gonna get me some me time. Okay. That's that thing. Yeah. So serious. But I think that's important. Seriously, for real. But I would say, so I hear a lot, like just in this short amount of time, I'm hearing you talk about, your children's fathers and things like that. So is it safe to say that you hold, and I think you may have in a sense answered this, but do you feel like you hold resentment towards the fathers, especially, and if so, why? And I ask that because there may be somebody out there that feels the exact same way so that you do. And so to understand your why and your explanation could probably help that person as well. So why do you feel like...
I guess I'm resentful because I am resentful. I will say that 100% out loud. But I'm not resentful for their partnership with me, if that makes sense. I don't want them back in a romantic relationship for me, but I do think for a reason it takes two people to make a baby.
Absolutely.
I feel dangerously out of my skin talking about penises with my sons, and I have no dick.
Right.
No.
No, I feel you on that.
I'm having full-blown
conversations. Yeah.
I'm Googling because half of it is not on me.
Right.
I get it.
They have questions. They're at the age and they're like, oh, this does this in the mornings. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Give me 2 minutes. I'll be back.
Yeah.
So I'm resentful to the fact that I do feel if the other person is sane and has good, I do believe you do need to still have good character. I don't think just because you're someone's father, if you're strung out or not all the way there, it can maybe be more hurtful than helpful. But I do think it takes two people to have a baby, and I think the least you can do if you're not going to pay your money is give your time.
I believe that. I agree with that for sure.
Without me, because it's always what do you do? What did you bring? Can you pack the bag? Well, why did you bring the bag?
Exactly.
Why don't they have a pair of socks at your house?
Yeah. And that's the craziest thing about it is because that's what I have to do with my boys as well. When we first started visitation and stuff, and it was court ordered because I was ready for it to just be listen, you're done.
Yeah.
But it was court ordered, and so even now when my kids go there, I send them with the clothes on their back, and I do that intentionally because you don't do shit all year long. So when you do have them, you have to figure it out just like I do. You gotta shop. You're going to have to go buy clothes. You're going to have to go buy underwears. I send them with the clothes on their back. That's it. And it forces him to have to step up. Unless you're going to really have my kids in the same underwear for a month. But I would hope not.
Yeah.
I would, you know what I mean? But I don't. Because I get tired of the whole enabling thing. You know? Because like you said, we did this together.
Yeah.
And aside from the romantic portion, which I want no parts of, when it comes down to the kids, they're fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Boys are expensive. Our kids play sports.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sports is $300 a kid.
Yeah.
Then when you have multiples, you gotta be inclusive to everybody.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it. I get the whole resentment, and I get the whole like overcompensating because you feel like what who else is gonna do it?
Yeah.
And aside from that, also like having to be the mom, the fun one, and you also have to be the aggressor.
Right.
So it's hard to want to punish your kids all the time. It's hard to want to say no because it's like, damn, I already have to be the bad guy. Yeah. It's not like I can pass the baton and be like, that's between you and your dad. You know what I mean? It's like, I got to make the rules. I got to do the punishing.
Yeah.
I got to, you know what I'm saying? I got to take you out when you do good. I got to, you know what I mean? Like, I have to be able to show remorse and show discipline at the same time. And it's kind of like, damn, you know? And I get told that a lot. Like, Ashley, you're going to create a bad habit, you know? And I'm like, it's not me trying to create a bad habit, but like, damn, I want him to have a good life. You know what I mean? Like, I want him to have a good life. They already don't have a damn dad that's consistent. Yeah. Like, shit, the least I could do is make sure they're happy. Yeah. You know? And I guess that's what we do. We pour all of our, like, happiness into our kids. Like, seeing them happy makes us happy. And that's where I'm trying to find the balance. Because I want to be happy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because, yes, they're running around. They're happy. They're like, my life is fucking awesome. Like, my kids tell me all the time, like, oh, man, like, we have such a good life. And then I'm just like, you know, my hair is hanging on by the goddamn scalp, you know? Like, I'm doing a lot to make sure y'all have this life. And like she said, I'm just trying to really find that balance. Because I look at them and I'm like, you're happy, but I'm not happy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm happy looking at y'all be happy, but like, when I go in a room, I'm like, damn. And it's all it's all I got.
Listen, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Like, and this is not to be insensitive, but I'm gonna be honest, because I'm always gonna be honest about me and with myself. But see, that's the thing. Like, I feel like, again, as mothers, we always go back to that thing where it's like, yeah, of course we all want to see our kids happy. We do. But damn it, I'm going to be happy around this too. I am. Yeah. Even if I'm not at my happiest, I'm going to be okay, at least. Because I have, no. And y'all, I'm so serious. This is the mind frame we have to be in. Because again, it's not healthy for us as women, young women. It's not healthy. We will continue to hold ourselves back if we only focus on being the mother. Right. I'm a darn good mother. Do not ever get me wrong. My kids gonna always come first. However, I'm gonna always put myself first as well. So guess what? If I go out and I buy my kids some shoes, I'm gonna buy me some shoes too. I am. And I don't feel bad about it. Why? Because
I work hard.
Yeah. And that's a part of creating your own happiness. We talk about wanting to be happy. Okay, well, that means you have to make yourself happy as well. It doesn't just reside in your kids. Right. We could be happy that we love our kids. That's great. We have to. I'm telling you, it sounds bad, but it's almost like, you know, you do have to kind of get a little selfish about you.
And say what?
Look,
I thought you were going to say F them kids.
FTK. For real. Yeah. Because you're no good to nobody if you're not good to yourself.
Mm-hmm. But I also think, you said you didn't have kids till your 30s. I feel like you had time to know who you were.
Right. I still don't know. And that's the thing. See, it's like this. It's one of those things.
I was still in algebra. Like I could barely I was still writing essays that were getting graded for no punctuation. Like
I tell you. And that was gonna be actually one of my other questions, because I feel like it's a lot of misconceptions. Because then you have people, you know, you have the people that have the kids young, and then you have people that had them a little later in life. It was by the grace of God, first of all. Let's start there. But I think that just because, I did all that. I might have was able to do probably a lot more than you probably were able. Okay, but even with that being said, it still goes back to the point. The fact of the matter is, young or old, because that was, in a sense, robbed of you, that's all the more reason why you should want to take more time for yourself now. Because you didn't have it before.
Right.
And this is the time to actually get it. Because number one, tomorrow's not promised.
That's true.
We have many more years ahead of us. Anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, because I didn't have it then, you have to make it to where I'm going to have it now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to have it. It's very important to have that time to yourself. And I do think that it's a lot of, because just because I had kids late, that don't mean that I don't have my struggles and my stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm in a relationship, that don't mean that life is easy for me.
Right.
That don't mean that I don't get frustrated. That doesn't mean that other people, I think we all have different, experiences throughout our life. It's just about how we plan to, what we gonna do about it.
Yeah.
At this point, I think that, we just have to find a balance. And sometimes I have to find that balance because sometimes I'm just like you. No, I'm a mom. No, I gotta stay home with the kids. No, I can't do this. I'm going. I'm leaving. Bye. Like, I have to force it. Like, bye. I'm gone. So, I mean, that's
and I think the kids unintentionally make us feel bad as well. They don't try to, but like, even when I go anywhere, my kids be like, I remember I went to dinner one week, like on a Wednesday, it was my friend's birthday dinner. And then like Saturday, I went somewhere brunch. And they're like, you're going out again?
It's like, yes, I am.
Again, Mom?
I sure
you just
am.
went out on Tuesday. I'm like, I went to dinner.
I might go out Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Well, where are we going? Like, what, are we going anywhere? Like, kids will make you feel bad, and they don't even mean to. They're just so accustomed to like having us there all the time. So the day you switch it up on them, Ariel, they're gonna be like, wait a minute,
it's gonna be hell.
Yeah, that was my next thing, because I know you were saying like, you're still like going through the motions and everything, but have you tried to date? Like, have you tried to date at any point?
Me personally, or like bringing someone like in the home where my kids are?
Well, no, not even necessarily that, but I don't know. Have you done that?
No, I've not done that. I think that would be very serious.
Right. Because they're going to chew them out.
Yeah, and it's sad that I'm kind of like intimidated.
Yeah.
Because my kids are very outspoken.
Right.
And I want them to be able to say what's on their mind at all times. Because
Absolutely.
I need to know what's going on.
Right.
I don't want you to ever bite your tongue because a man said, oh, be quiet, don't tell you. Tell me.
Right.
And we're going to fight him together. I need you to tell me at all times. If we
Exactly.
can argue and scream and yell, but I need you to tell me.
Yeah.
So they are very open. Not disrespectful, but they will say, who are you here for? Like, it's very possessive.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a son who's going to be 16. He's 225 pounds. Like, that's a child I have to feed.
Yeah.
And he's staying behind me like, what's up? And I'm like, yeah, okay, let's just, I'll go home.
Yeah.
So no, I haven't. My divorce was very toxic. My divorce came from domestic violence. So yeah, I just really retreated after that.
Yeah.
I've been celibate 3 years.
Well, that's good.
I feel like I'm like a reborn virgin.
There's nothing wrong with it.
And the other stuff didn't count.
Yeah, it's like, what is that? How do you work that anymore? But no, I'm just really just focused on myself. And I don't think that it's toxic.
Yeah.
Only because it's just we're not struggling anymore. Things are actually paid on time. A home is peaceful. It's not somewhere that we avoid going.
Right.
My kids aren't scared to be home. They waking your kids up and your face doesn't look how it looked when you put them to sleep.
Right.
Is traumatic. So they don't worry anymore. My kids don't stay up when they hear the garage door open because they don't know what's gonna shake out.
Right.
I have my son can now be a boy and not a man. Like it's a culture switch in my house.
Right.
And a part of me is like, yeah, you know what? I am lonely. And I have no idea who I am if all of you guys grow up and leave me.
Right.
But currently in this moment, we're safe.
Right.
And for a long time, safety is all I prayed for.
Right.
So a part of me feels
you're living in that.
or ungrateful to be like, oh, now I need a man. When it's
Right.
like, well, bitch, I tried.
Right.
It was terrible. Like, it was god awful.
Yeah.
It was actually my lowest point. I was actually very embarrassed of it. And
Yeah.
marriage to me was something I really respected and I was excited. So to see someone like someone else was able to control when I was happy,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like outside of my body.
Right.
So no, I have not dated. I've been asked on dates and, oh, you're very pretty, and, oh, can I get to know? I'm like, yeah, babe, thanks, gotta go, keep going. And I don't really go out in public.
She's gonna ghost you guys. Look.
I really don't. I don't go out in public that much
Yeah.
either. If I'm probably at my kids' games or my daughter's dance recital, I don't go in the grocery store. So unless he's like my Amazon driver, I don't know how he would ever physically meet me.
Yeah, unless it's via social media.
Yeah, I barely open those. It's like a dark hole. The messages are deep.
But that's what I'm saying.
I don't open it.
But that's what I'm saying because believe it or not, it is some women that is in the exact same space that you are.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, do you feel like it's rooted in fear?
Yes, I can say that.
Okay. So because
Fear of failure, though, not fear of where I am.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I trusted myself before and it went bad.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna stay in my comfort, stay in my lane.
Right.
Is that holding you back? Is that hiding yourself from the world? Is that making you shrink and be small? I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But now I feel like the risk outweighs the reward.
Mm-hmm.
To put all of us back out there again it seems more risky than safe.
Right.
So I kind of play in my lane.
I mean, I look, I get that. I feel like with that being said too, and because I mean, obviously everything is always easier said than done.
Yeah.
And especially when you're not the one in it, right?
Yeah.
So I get that. I say too though, or I ask like, do you feel that like being in this space, do you feel that it's healthy for anybody to be in this space? Because we talk about risk, like we often talk about like these risks and all that stuff. But I mean, life is a risk itself.
Yeah.
We talk about these risks, but it's almost like, okay, you said you rather the risk than what, failure?
Yeah.
Or the reward.
The risk outweighs the reward.
The risk outweighs the reward. So it's almost like, but how do you know if you're not? Because you, in a sense, it's almost like on one hand you think you're taking a risk,
right?
And then on the other hand, it could be the reward. But how will you really know if the risk outweighs the reward if you never actually take the risk?
But how many times do you touch the fire until you say, hey, that's not for me?
Okay, but then how many times do you not genuinely put all that emotion and take time to heal that part of you?
Right.
And that means outside of your kids,
right?
Outside of what makes them happy. That means actually having time to yourself. That means actually doing the work within so that you can get to that place so that you're prepared for that. Because essentially that's all it is. Mm-hmm. So is the risk really always the reward when you don't know if you haven't even really done the real work yet?
And I guess it all comes back to like, do you even desire companionship at this point in your life? You know, like, is that something that you even think about?
That's sad to say. I don't think anyone wants to die alone. I don't think anyone doesn't want someone to come home to.
There's some wild girls out here
to talk about. You know what I mean? But
I
do. I am a love girl. Like the sappy movies get me every time. I like to see other people happy, but just sometimes I feel like those cards aren't for me. Mm-hmm. It kind of makes me sad. Mm-hmm. But yeah. That's it. I'm happy for other people. Yeah. I'm happy when it works for other people. But I just feel like the times that I have genuinely put myself out there, it was such a setback in my life. Yeah. That it's like it took you years to get back to who you are. I don't know if you guys like this, but for me,
But when you did,
I would disappear. I would lose myself.
Again, you know? But it's like, but when you did it, was you really prepared? Because see, sometimes I feel like what we do as women, we think we're somewhere we're not.
Right.
So then we do put ourselves out there, and we put ourselves in these positions to where we think that we're more healed than we actually are.
Right.
Or that we think that we're ready for something where we're really not. And so what happens is we put ourselves out there and we like, look, I'm ready, I did it, and then it don't work out. And what happened was we've attracted the total opposite of what we maybe prayed for or whatever, and it don't work out, and then we turn and point the finger at them when really it's us. Because, and I say that because I've been there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, we point the finger, but it's like, wait a minute. Maybe I wasn't ready where I was, because that person always was who they were. I just couldn't see it because where I was in my own life. So it's like,
how do you judge yourself though, non-biased, and say, hey, I'm healed now? How do you know?
That's the question.
What does it look like? How do you know you're there?
I feel like,
I think my fear is more so of making a mistake. I have no problem getting back out there, but if it's like you said, and I'm not where I should be, then I didn't set just myself back. I set myself and 5 kids back for something that ultimately a partner really is probably only going to benefit me.
Right.
So is it selfish?
Well, I think, like, again, it's rooted in fear. Because, like, right now, it's just, this is comfortable for me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm comfortable. I'm good. Like, I don't have to worry. I don't have to possibly feel that hurt again. I don't have to introduce anybody to my kids and my kids get let down. So it's just staying in that comfort zone. When in reality, you want so much more.
Right.
But I do think with the right partner, you know, God willing, it would benefit you, not only you, but your children.
Yeah.
So it's like a partner's just not going to benefit you. You know what I mean? Like, benefit Andre, benefit Terrell, benefit the girls. You know, it obviously takes the right one, but again, you don't know until you find the right one. You know, and I feel like we're burnt out because we were dating very young. We were having sex very young. We were having kids very young. And it's like we was doing it at 14 and 15, and here we are in our 30s. And we're like, okay, like, I don't want to do that no more. Like, I don't work. God, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I done been through some relationships. Like, okay, I'm good off of it. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't have an opportunity to, like, live life. We were either in relationships or raising kids. And so it's like we get to this age now where we're kind of just comfortable and confined. Like, okay, this is safe. This is cool. Like, I don't even want to see what else is out there. Like, I done been through too much. You know what I mean?
And it's kind of like, it's hard too when family and friends are people that you have been raised with, that's known you all your life, and you know, they expected better of you, or they thought more of you, to then bring your pity and your wallow to them 10 years later. It's kind of like, well, yeah, honey, this is what it's like.
Right.
How did you think it was going to be?
Yeah.
Right. What did you expect? So it's kind of just like, raise your kids, suck it up, and be quiet. But then you meet good people like you guys are like, hey, love yourself. And it's kind of like, it's like a devil and an angel. Everyone's saying different things. And I'm kind of caught in the middle of who am I?
Yeah, but you know, these older people, they're set in their ways. Old people are set in their ways. Like, they don't believe in therapy. They don't believe in, you know what I mean? Like, loving yourself, self-care, taking time for themselves, because essentially they were in the home, they were raising the kids, and they were taking care of the man. So that's like their whole philosophy on like what a relationship looks like, what self-care looks like. All of that is twisted.
Yeah.
So it's like, even to an extent now, like I may not talk to, you know, my mom about relationship advice. I may not, you know, go to like my older cousin for relationship advice, because their like vision of it is so manipulated. Like, so I don't even, you know what I mean? Like, their whole philosophy on relationships is twisted. And it's just based in being set in their ways, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why for them it's like, because even, you know, I'll go to my mom like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed, I'm tired of it. And she just like, yeah, I understand, but it's kind of like, that's what you got to do, Ash. Like, you had 3 kids. It's on you. It's not like, listen, Ash, take a day, you know, do that. They don't.
Yeah.
So we get caught in that whole like role of like, all right, just pick up and keep going. Like,
Yeah, and that's definitely where I am.
Yeah.
That's definitely where I am. If there's no one to cry to, there's no one to listen to you cry, then are the tears really worth it? What is it there for?
Right.
So I'm not saying I'm not overwhelmed or burned out or I want different, but I think life is layers, and I think it's very important to be knowledgeable of who's pouring into you.
Right. Oh,
and because it's hard to unpour, it's hard to unlearn, it's hard to find a new mom. Like, who the fuck can do that?
Right.
Like, she is who she is, but it's like I have to love her for who she is, and then still not take any of her mental advice personal.
Right.
And then still love on my daughter completely a different way.
Differently, yeah.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
And it's just like, oh, and add a man. It's like, I have nothing left. I'm gonna do better, and I'm gonna try better. But it's
we gonna go out.
It's a lot of unlearning.
Well, see, I'm not like a big club person or anything like that, but like I'm like a let's go to brunch. Let's go sip on some mimosas. Hell, let's take a self-care day. Call out of work. Put some PTO in while the kids are at school because we don't got to worry about
you to teach me how.
Yeah,
we
don't have to.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Baby,
we don't have to worry about a babysitter. Just do it while they're at school.
Y'all, it's the best advice I can give. Take care of you. You have to get in that space where you just
block it out.
You have to, because you will run yourself crazy.
I hear you.
And before we end this, I have to say this: is there anything that you would like to tell the single mother, the young mother, the mother who's struggling, the mother who don't know how to balance, the mother who is overwhelmed, the mother who don't know all the answers, the mother that's where you are, is that if there's anything that you can tell her right now that's watching this, what would you tell her?
Don't let the noise consume you. Don't be afraid to ask for help, even if it's not the people you're used to asking for help from. A lot of my resources, childcare, domestic violence, legal aid, child support, visitation, these were all avenues that I had to reach out and find on my own. The information was not within my circle.
Okay.
And it's okay to make a new circle.
Right.
Yes.
It's hard though. It is very isolating. Whatever you're feeling, feel it. It's valid. There's no one to tell you that how you feel is wrong.
Right.
If I can tell myself anything, I probably would have got therapy sooner.
Yeah.
I would have let someone in my mind that wasn't judgmental sooner.
Right.
I get it.
And I think that's essential. Like you said, you have to find another circle because
I was always just told it was a white people thing.
Yeah.
No.
It's not a black thing. You know, like, and it was like, wow, am I not black then? Because I'm struggling mentally.
Yeah. But
like Karen in aisle 4, we are the same because I don't want to be here.
Yeah, I get that. And that's a big problem in our community.
Yeah.
It's like mental health is not a serious topic.
What happens in my home stays in my home. And you move on.
Yeah. Well, Black folks, we need to get it together.
Right.
And seriously and quick.
Y'all.
We need it.
Yeah.
So whatever information that we can leave in the description below, as far as domestic violence, far as any of these important topics that was touched on tonight, any resources that you guys may need or anything, we can give you Ariel's information. Reach out, if that's okay.
It's okay.
Reach out to her for any information, from abuse to what else? Baby daddy help,
child support, court,
help.
Represent myself in court. How?
Any of that type of information we will have in the description below, and we make sure that we have all of her social media so you guys can reach out to her as well. And we wish that we could have talked a lot more, but y'all know we're only here for a little time, a good time, not a long time.
And we just appreciate you coming.
Yes,
we appreciate you taking time for yourself.
This was
today.
me time for me.
Yes.
See,
this was me time.
You already
taking time for
started.
yourself
That's
today.
how you do that.
My house is burning down, but this is
It's okay.
It's all right. You worry about
You do it when you get there. Yes. That's
feel
not your
about
problem.
later.
Right. Exactly.
Got it.
Thank you so much for
thank
coming,
you,
girl.
yes.
And we're gonna have you again for sure.
As always, y'all know, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see y'all on the next one.
Thank you.
Bye.
This can't be our first time.